Hey, I'm back. Got it to work. So I'm in the shop for a couple hours. It's horrible outside. It's raining sideways. The wind's howling. So I'm probably not going to see anyone. So I thought, let's jump on. We'll get the Cankerborn started. Because yesterday I didn't go live because I was in the zone and I managed to get the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I don't know, 14 or so, whatever. The wretches, the little dudes. I got them painted. So I thought, let's do the Cankerborn. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Currently, I'm going to shake up. I'm not going to go with my normal Nurgle painting. I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. So I've got some Plague Bearer Flash. They are giant Plague Bearers, so. And I've got to be careful with this one. I'm shaking up. The lid's not on properly, so this could go horribly wrong. I'm going to whack some Militarum Green once it actually shakes up. I'll slap some of that on there. Possibly one of the worst pots for shaking up because of that. So I shall use my lovely vortex mixer to attempt to blap that away. If I was prepared, I would have done this all off camera. I'm not prepared. Yeah, that's as good as it's going to get. I can't bother to do anymore. And then we've got some Ogren camo and we've got some Iron Rack skin. So let's mess with these. Let's chuck them in a second. And I don't have my gloves on, so I almost feel naked. So I think what we're going to do, we'll start with Plague Bearer Fresh. Now I haven't used this in ages. I do remember it always being quite strong as a colour. As always, my mic suddenly gets muted. It's because someone's walked in. Admittedly, anyone walking in here tonight is absolutely mental. So I'm going to contrast. Oh, I've already based these in Rhinoxide, and I just dry brush them in something. Rackar Flesh. Yeah, just Rackar Flesh. So I'm going to do a light coat of Plague Bearer Flesh over them. I'm not even going to bother being massively neat about it. They have what I assume is seaweed. I did see a picture of them earlier. And the stuff on top was either rocks or barnacles or something. I don't know. I think I'm just going to paint it like gross flesh. I'm just going to whack this in here. This is one of those times where I wish I was being a bit quicker because I actually want to mess about a bit with that Militarum Green. I didn't look on the website to see if there was a 360 video of the back of these guys because they've also got a weird skirty thing, and I don't know what that's supposed to be either. So we are just under, or just about actually, a week away from these releasing. So I've got a week. I've painted over 50% now of the box. I'd have been quicker, but to be honest, I had other things to do. I was planning on coming up today while the shop was shut and painting, but I decided to play Ark Raiders and Star Citizen, and also sleep for a couple hours, which I don't normally do, but I was knackered, so. Okay, so slappy slap slap. We won't worry about getting that over the top of that thing now. I am going to Let's break this Militarum green out a second. And I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. I'm going to mute my, not mute my phone. Just going to reduce down the sounds. Apologies for that. I kind of do still need to be able to hear it if it goes off. So I'm going to use some Militarum green. So this is new territory for me when it comes to painting Nurgle. I don't normally do this, so I just fancied just slapping on some different greens. I definitely want to do it on these bits here. That's doing nothing. Oh, there we go. So yeah, no plan with these. Just going to slap paint on them. See what happens. See how it looks. That's why I'm using this incredibly expensive, terrible brush. We'll see what colours we can make them go without too much faffing around. So if I remember rightly, we're on like 400 and something subscribers now. Oh, I've just realised that the thingy actually, let's move that a second. Let's unlock those. Let's lock all these so we don't move them around. Okay. We're on 417 subscribers. Wow. Anyway, yeah, remember, when we hit 500, we're going to give away some stuff. I don't know where I've just moved that box, because on OBS that box is fine to see, but I don't know if on YouTube, if it's just plopped it in the live. I don't know. Who knows? Can't sidetrack myself with that right now. Yeah. We're under 420 subscribers. We're on like 417 or something. Need to hit 500. Hit 500, we're going to give away some stuffs. Give away a box set of some description. Get it posted out. Of combat patrol value. So it's quite a few things that are of combat patrol value. AOS spearheads. The new Blood Bowl box set. Old World battalions. We will let the winner decide. As long as it's in stock and we can get it in, then we'll get it in and we'll get it posted. But that's only when we hit 500 subscribers. And then we'll do a 1K one. We'll do some milestone ones. Right. That's the Pallid Witch Flesh. Pallid Witch Flesh? Plaguebearer Flesh. I've just realised as well that my camera is deciding to go with whatever's closer, isn't it? Apologies. It was working so well the other day. Right, Militarum green. Let's slap that in just into these bits. We can sort out anything too badly. We're going to do some dry brushing. We're going to apply a bunch of pinky purple washes. This is why I like Nurgle so much. I also need to get these done because I just had my Rotigus, another Great Unclean one, arrive, and I want to get him done. He's going to be my Rotigus. So I've only ever painted one, and it was one of my most favourite models to paint. Okay, right, we're done with those. That's not going to seal up, and I can't bother to try and clean that lid out right now. Right, done with the greens. Just give that crappy brush a bit of a rinse. Let's get this pinky mix out. Which one did I do first? This guy. So obviously he's still wet. I'm going to go in and add some pinks and purpley bits in, especially between his heads. We'll do more of this on another slate, like later as well, but thinking we might as well do something a bit different. Just try adding in some of these pinks and purples while the contrast's wet. I say, not something generally do. Since this is just two dudes and not like a unit, I don't mind experimenting. If it was a full unit and it was like an existing colour scheme, these guys are pretty standalone as far as anything goes, so we can have a bit of a mess about. And we're going, oh, that looked good. Hope that's going to dry as nice as that looks like it could be. So I'm going to just take a load of that off the brush a second. I'm going to wick this away between the heads. There's quite a lot of green in there, and now I kind of want more of this pink in there. I hear people walking around outside in this horrible weather. They are mad. Okay. Let's go back to these ankles. Let's just have a splat around with it. Get some under his armpits. Put it in there. Okay, now, technically that was a sweet. Yeah, I'm hoping, I don't use the green contrasts all that much, not Plaguebearer Flesh and stuff, so it's the first time for really using them. I'm hoping they're going to look okay. I am very, very quickly going to mute my mic while I hair dryer these, so give me 2 minutes. Apparently that's not that loud on my mic, so we'll see. That seems pretty loud. I'm sure you can put up with it for a minute. If I can put up with it, you can put up with it. That actually worked. I didn't think that was going to work. Right, I'll do for a second. It will speed it up a bit. We can dick about with other stuff while I do that. Now, say in the box art, their backs have got these. I assume they're supposed to be. What are they called? Barnacle type bits. I don't know. It's like rock coming out of the back. So I'm just going to go box out with it. I can't bother to faff around. So we're just going to use a dark grey. So we're just going to use, what's this? Skaven Blight. Skaven Blight Dinge. I'd have preferred Esh and Grey, but I can't bother to move and get that. Just so that contrast is drying, I'm just going to go over these areas. So what we'll do is, I actually really like Skaven Blight Dinge as a colour. It's one of my preferred greys. At least if we darken these out. It's one thing I like to do, even if I'm not planning on leaving it that colour, I like to block things out with a similar colour. You're in the way. Get back. Yeah, I can always go in and change things, but yeah, I will generally block things in. It's one of the main things I do with contrast is just block colours in with contrast, even if it's not even remotely like the right tone or whatever. I just go and block them all in just so I can get an idea. Plus, I don't ever think anything through, so do it this way. We can change our minds on the fly. How much of this bit is supposed to be that weird rocky texture? Let's find out. So this is Plague Bearer flesh, and then Militarum green applied in the darker recesses. And then I have like a pinky, reddy, purple mix that I mess about with. But they're not going to stay this colour. No, no, no. They're going to be a lot lighter than this. Yeah, just while that Plague Bearer flesh was wet, just banging the Militarum green in. Yeah, Plague Bearer is a bit too, well, it depends on how you apply Plague Bearer. You can apply it very lightly. Can make quite a big difference. It's a lot more yellowy. Okay. That'll do for him for a sec. Still need to figure out what color these are going to be, but what I might do is before I leave the shop tonight, these will all be dry. I might just oil wash them real quick and leave that overnight and decide what I'm doing with them then. We'll see. So the idea here is that seaweed's probably not going to get any form of dry brushing of lighter colours to it. And then we'll be able to work on the seaweed after. I think it's seaweed. I'm pretty sure it is. Those little dudes are called like kelp something or other. So there's definitely yellow to the Plague Bearer flesh, 100%. It will also not be the last time that Plague Bearer flesh gets used. I do like to thin it down as like a filter glaze sort of thing as well, especially if my guys start to look a bit too pale, because I am going to just kind of overbrush. Oh, are we going to do that? Oh, I don't know actually. Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, what that is. I literally can't tell what that is. Have I got a picture of these guys? What the hell is that on his shoulder? Oh, it's actually a shoulder and a little bit of skull. Okay. I couldn't tell. What is going on with my camera at the moment? Everything's looking a bit fuzzy on my screen. So some people have said that they've got War Scrolls in AOS. If they have, then they will join my Magickin army 100%. I've stayed away from the rulebook. I said to Matt, I don't want to look at anything really until we're ready to play. I kind of want a painted box set, and then to painted box set, and then to do it to read the rules then. Right, let's see if it's over in camera. Is this a dud pot? Oh, this is a completely dud pot. That explains why I've got a newer one next to it. For fuck's sake. Yeah, I've not looked. Yeah, people have said that there are rules for them. I didn't look to see who's got rules. I don't think it's everything in the box. But I don't use demons too much in AOS. So that's going to be fun. I'll probably just use a lot of Blight Kings. Blight Kings, Great and Clean one. And I really want to Rotagus, so I'm going to do one Great and Clean one, Rotagus, bunch of Blight Kings, and then see what I've got left over points wise. Okay, right, we're going to use some. Where's my brush gone? I've lost my brush. I've just used this shitty brush. No, I use this shitty brush. Yes, they do have a tendency of doing that. I think it's generally just to appease the masses, so that when the masses go, oh, there's no rules for Age of Sigmar, why haven't they got a wall scroll? And they just go, well, here's one, but don't expect it to be good. That seems to be the thing for them. Right, so this might be a bit bright, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with Ogre and Camo, because I'm going to mess about with a lot of this. So I'm aware that contrast paint is still wet. That shouldn't be a problem. I'm also aware that I am a heretic, and this is straight out of the pot. Some people don't like the fact that I don't use a wet palette. Even though I own 3. But I don't care, right? Oh, that's a nice thing actually about that being still wet, is that there's a couple areas that are super dark, and that Ogre and Camo is mixing in with that nicely, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm an absolute heretic when it comes to painting. I've been doing it for so long that I find it easier to just use what I've got to hand than not to dig all of my painting toys and tools out. Okay. So I love Ogre and Camo. I love it for Orc skin, and I love it for Nurgle skin. So idea here is to just bring all this back up. It's going to go lighter. I'm just going to overbrush essentially. It's not really dry brushing. I'm just going to try and catch all of those raised areas with Ogre and Camo. I don't mind too much if it goes into the recesses, because we're going to hit those recesses again. And the idea is that where some of the recesses, if I do, some of those recesses will be lighter. Some of the stuff will go in it. How long? What am I now? 43. So, yeah, 30, 32, 33 years. My first models were when I was about 10 years old. Yes, the best thing about painting Nurgle stuff is that they look like crap to begin with. Well, if you paint them my way, they will anyway. And hopefully you get to spend all your time then rectifying that. That's the idea. Because it will go a bit further than hang on. Is there a bit further than Ogre and Camo? Got some Iron Rack skin there. Shit, have I gone to my highest colour? Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine. We're not painting this the same as I normally paint Nurgle. I'm faffing, so. We're doing this on the fly. What's the time now? Let's have a look. Right, so 2 hours. I've got 2 hours to see how much of this I can get done. I reckon we'll be pretty much done in 2 hours. I reckon. Hour a mini. Shouldn't say that. I'm not the fastest of painters. They're saying that I did paint 14 Wretched yesterday, and that was in 6 hours. And I wasn't painting for the full 6 hours. I was just in the shop for 6 hours, so. What other shades can I prat about with this? So we've got a Phonian camo shade. Yeah, we've got that. We've got Biltan green. We can mess with that. Might not even need all of those greens, to be fair. Although actually, yes, I might do, because I'm going to change the green that's on the seaweed. My favourite, my first models were the original. They used to sell them as an army box. They were just called Space Orcs. They were a big box of orcs, and I got the original truck as well. It was so spiky that I ended up jabbing myself. So it used to take me a long time to paint models. But like I say to most people, the longer you do something, the faster you become at doing things, and also you become less fussy. I mean, I'm one of those people that I could literally paint a model, and then I will just always say it's not finished, because technically nothing's really finished, because you can always go back and you can always do more. I think you've just got to learn to be finished. It's good enough, it's done. But then I'm sat in a hobby shop, and my main thing to do all day is paint. So and a couple of years ago I started commission painting as well, so I learned to be less fussy. Okay, not going to spend as much time on this one because I didn't need to on that last one. My thumb's going to be green at the end of this. I'll just go in, slap that in. Okay. Oh, see, if I was a baker, I'd be so fat. I would be so fat. I love bread. Bread doesn't like me, but I love bread, and I love buns. Oh god, and pastries. I would just be huge. Plus, I would never have anything to sell either because I'll just eat it all. I am an abs. I'm just terrible. Anything that's doughy, basically. Right, this is iron rack skin. Now, I don't remember ever using iron rack skin on my others. but I feel like I want to. Plus, I feel like if I make him a bit brighter, when we come, I mean, I'm just noticing now that Plague Bearer Flash is still not even dry yet, so I am actually speeding this very much. Just going to use it. I'm not using it everywhere. I'm just going to use it. A bunch of raised areas. I have to get the hairdryer out again. See, the only good thing about being in the hobby shop, being a hobby shop owner, is I get to sit here painting. It also means that none of my hobby is at home anymore. So when I go home, it's TV or playing PC. That worked. That iron rack worked. I did the pastigals the other day. Nice. I won't ask how you got it early. I want a bit naughty, unless you happen to be in a Warhammer store or you own a store. This iron rack skin. This iron rack skin is actually, I'll toot my own horn. It is doing its job. He is looking nice. Well, as nice as a big green gross demon could look. I'll get him dried off in a second. 2 hours. I didn't need 2 hours. What am I talking about? I do. I blatantly do. I'm going to fuck him up in a bit. Something bad's going to happen. Things are going good. Making good progress. God damn, that is actually, I don't know if it's because there's still some wet paint in there, but I am loving that. That's a good combo. I think what we'll do is I'm going to have to hit this with a hairdryer because I do want to get some more shades put in there to let it tone them down, blend them all back in. We do have some purples and other stuff that needs to be put in. Okay, looking good. Oh, my hand's all slimy now. Right, while we actually, instead of hair drying it, let's quickly crack open some thick and clumpy silver. I did enjoy doing the pesticles. They're on the table here, actually. I'll show you in a second, unless you watched me do it the other day. I will show you the pesticles off. Quite proud of them. They're looking pretty sweet. Let's very quickly get some Iron Warriors just on here. We can base that out. It's another box ticked. Tick. I don't know what that is on the top. We'll assume it's metal. I'm going to make it rusty anyway, so who cares? I'm not going to see it. Slap. So anyone that says I shouldn't be using paint out of the pot can kiss my ass, because it's fine. I don't put enough paint on. If it was too much paint, I would take it off. Still going. Still going. No downtime. Now, I'm not a big fan of the fact that the weapons all seem to have some sort of growth on them, but to be honest, I'm going to put a whole shitload of texture paint and rust them up so much that I don't think we're going to bother painting them all fleshy or anything like that. Let's just get these based out in silver. I'm going to grab a brown, doesn't matter what brown. I'm going to quickly just contrast paint brown those staffs, because that's another bit that I really can't be asked to spend any time on. What have we got? We've got something here. Oh, we've got Gargrax Sewer. That's perfect. Oh, I haven't played anything yet. Not painting anything. Not playing anything, I mean. I refuse to play until everything's painted. And at this rate, we will be able to play it on release, which will be sweet. I don't even know if this is supposed to be wood, but it's going to be. Yeah, that's wood, blatantly. Whatever. That's fine. If it wasn't wood, it is now. Sure it is. Right. Let's let them dry like that. Oh, you have a good one too. Enjoy baking. Oh, pastries. Right, okay. Oh, we're up to 419 subscribers. I got 2 more subscribers. Amazing. At this rate, we'll hit 500 next year. Perfect. Whoever that was that subscribed, thank you very much. Let's get these bones coloured in quickly. So I've got to be off at I shut the shop at 8:30 UK time. So I've got oh, just under 2 hours, literally. So how long have we been going for? Might be a record. 38 minutes. So 40 minutes, and we've gone from base coated to this. I don't know what this is. Can't really give a percentage. We'll stop when I decide that they are done enough. So I'm just going to redo in any bony protrusions. They're going to go brown anyway, or they will have some sort of brown attached to them. But they need to be brought back up. And same with the hooves. The hoofs. So once these two are done, all I've got left on the enemy side is going to be the little kelpies and the shaman and the wormy lady. Oh, thank you very much. I'm actually quite happy. I also agree that they are looking dope. 100%. Quite happy with these for a 40-minute job. Pretty pleased. Okay, let's get this done quickly. Need to have much time with me faffing around with horns and stuff. He's going to fall off the base. I didn't glue anyone in because I haven't decided on the basing yet. I've got a rough idea. I do need to, I said this the other day, I need to look at my maggotkin and decide how it's looking. well, I play Maggotkin in AOS, so I will be adding any of these that can be added in to them. We'll see what they're like. They're probably crap, but we'll see. And then the other reason I'm getting this done as quick as possible is because if they suddenly drop the Nurgle, the new Nurgle bits, like Festus and stuff like that, I'm going to need to get them and paint them straight away. So I'd rather these guys were done. The other benefit to that is that when they do come out, I would have already painted a whole bunch of Nurgle again, and I painted a lot of Nurgle already. Oh, that's a fucking finger. Fuck. Excuse my language. Just realised there's a bloody finger up there. Gonna have to deal with that. That's annoying. How did I not notice that? What was I saying? Yeah. So yeah, it's keeping me like kind of up to date with my Nurgle painting. I've got my Rotigus to do. Then I'll have 2 great and clean ones in the cabinet, which will be amazing. And Rotigus is really good in AOS. Well, it was the last time I looked anyway. Right. Just launch him across the table. Okay. Let's get these bones. All the bones just re-highlight out with that. I don't know if I did this guy's claws. Oh, most of my, I think my Maggotkin are already on swamp bases, so I'm going to see these guys. I don't know. I really need to see what's actually got AOS rules, because probably the ones that don't, because I don't think everything in this box has got AOS rules. I mean, I could be 100% wrong there. I generally am wrong. Because maybe I do a tester one. I need to try kind of remember before I leave tonight, if I get these done enough where I can put them down, to just grab a base and stick some texture, whatever, any type of texture pot, just slap some stuff down. Because I've got some AK puddles, and the AK puddles will work nicely, I think, for these bases. And I'm pretty sure my Maggotkin have got puddles applied to them already anyway. Right, what do I need? See, I think let's get Beltan green. OG pot of Beltan green. I need to do something just to make these bits different. So let's slap that on there. Slap that on over the back. Oh, I've still got the Kelpies to do. Actually, if I get the Kelpies done now, no, I'm going to get the heroes finished off. Leaving the worm woman, human centipede lady until last, because she's quite daunting. So, even though I'm going to wing it with her as well, kind of going to leave it for as long as possible. Right, I need to use my hairdryer, so do I mute mic, or do you all have to endure the hairdryer noise? That is the question. I say you all. Actually, I haven't looked to see how many people are currently on at the moment. Okay, well, that's a slightly different green, so that's fine. Right, let's have a look. See, it's fine. I'm sure the 4 of you won't mind so much if I use my hairdryer. Ow! Just knocked my phone over. Oh no, that was the camera. Wow. Epic fails. I thought I just knocked my phone onto the floor. I didn't. That's what happens when you don't have everything to hand. There we go. You're back. Let's try not to do that again. Okay, I'm going to use a hairdryer. I'll hold it slightly far away. Apologies if that's quite loud, if it's quite loud. But we don't have time to sit and wait. I have not got time to sit and wait for paint to dry. Not tonight. Let's do this quickly. Okay. It won't be 100% dry, but it'll be dry enough. My little camera is not picking things up very well. That one's not so bad. The light in here, because it's nighttime, is not great. Actually, can I make that better? I'm going to look like I'm sat in the freaking sun in the shop. Yeah. Bam. Does that change anything? Oh, yeah, a little bit. Okay, so it's going okay. The pinks aren't showing up as much as I'd like. I probably need to make. No, I did not paint my shaman already. He's here. He's next. He was going to be tonight, but I was like, I'd only have a couple hours. He's been Rhinox hided, and then he's been dry brush with Rackar flesh, so I can work on him straight away. But no, I've still got Cankerborn, and I can't remember what she's called. The human centipede lady. I'll do Shaman next, not tonight, because I've only got just under 2 hours left, so to go. I thought Cankerborn will be easier. Right, what do I want? Agrax. Right, can I Agrax up the silver? We're speeding it tonight. I'm not. I haven't got the time. On the Friday, we only open for 3 hours. Supposed to be getting orders ready, but I can't be bothered. The weather's so bad. I was just like, you know what? I'd rather do this. Was that a good idea? I don't like new Agrax. I know it's technically not new. I should have got used to it already, but give me back my old Agrax Earthshade, please. This just might as well be a paint. God, so not a shade. So I'm going to go over all the bone. So just going to put it on, but then I'm going to take it off and pull down towards the body. Oh, do you want to see my pestigores? Have you seen my pestigores? It's going to cost me time now, but I will show you if you wish. Let's just grab. Here's my favourite ones. Where's the one with the bony head? That's my pestigores. I don't know if the camera pick it up properly. We've still got stuff to do, but let's say we're at a point where I've got a lot of messing about to do. But I just needed to get them all to a decent standard. Yeah, the bone face like head one is like my favorite. I love him. He's so good. But yeah, they're all like that. My wretched. I didn't really enjoy doing the wretched, but I think it's just because I was batch painting them. My wretched. Oh, they're all right. There's one that I can actually see decently. My wretched are fine. They come out okay. But this is what I was doing yesterday. I was just trying to get the wretched to a certain point. I mean, if I was to base them all now, I could literally play with them. It'd be fine, but they're not. I've still got rust and stuff to apply. So my dudes are all. I haven't messed with the skin as much as I normally would. I normally, like most of the time with me for Nurgle skin, it looks like that. Pink and slimy. So my dudes will end up with skin that looks like that probably at some stage. But I was painting them 14. I was painting 14 of them in one hit, so they will generally look like that. It's actually quite difficult to see their skin tones with this, even though I've got every light on in here. Their skin's all, it's like a pale, and yeah, mine will. They generally do. I have so many different technical paints to use, but I like to stick with certain ones, and the main one for me is I mess around with typhus corrosion a lot. I don't use it like most people do. I use it as like a recess type thing. Put it in the recesses, and then I drag it away, and I use it to make things dirty, and then I add sepia washes and stuff to things, and all sorts of stuff. But I ran out of it, and even though I'm a shop, which is embarrassing, I ran out of it. My pot of it disappeared, which happens a lot randomly. My pots just seem to evaporate and disappear. So didn't have my typhus corrosion, so I couldn't do my usual amount of grimy shenanigans. And the other corrosion type things I've got don't work exactly the same way. And I don't like dirty down rust. I've got some of that and I don't like it. I could use it on the big blades of the Cankerborn, I suppose. But I'm not a fan of it for minis. It's hard to get a consistent colour. It's a very random thing, and it was never designed for miniatures. It's a friggin' haberdashery thing used it for prop design on fabric and stuff. So, also it stinks. It's very, very toxic, and it smells terrible. The reactivation underwater doesn't really bother me too much because I just varnish in between. But okay, back to getting these bony protrusions very quickly shaded. Because if we don't shade them, we can't make them lighter later. Really quickly get his nails done. Jip, jip, jip. Make that base a bit darker now that's dried, since I was busy yabbering on about pasticles. No, 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 no. I paint a lot less marines and stuff for myself. I do a lot of commission painting, so I paint quite a lot of 40k. So it's not. I like painting my stuff because it means I'm not painting 40k. The next 40k stuff I'm probably going to paint that isn't commission is my Tau kill team, And I've not painted towel before, so that's going to be fun. Need to pick a scheme. The tower, one of those ones where I'm not willing to just make it my own thing. I might have a look, or that, or I end up painting them like Gundam. Who knows? Who knows? I haven't even finished building them, which is funny since I've had those for weeks. Yeah, I built these as soon as I got them. There is a bit of string around his wrist that can get a bit of brown wash. Let's get these hooves. So with the hooves and the bones, it's always a decision of either going light from the base to darker on the tips, or darker on the tips and lighter to the base. And in this instance, we're going to go with the easy mode and go dark at the base, because it's so much easier just to pull the shade back into the mini and wick it away from the tip, the pointy bit. Okay. Job's a good one. Okay. Have I got an old sepia wash? Oh, we do. Fancy models, AOS models in general, 100% better. It's as if they just, I don't know why they get the better models. They just do. AOS minis are awesome. And old world minis, yes, even some of the old world minis are awesome. I've got so many old world minis to paint. So I'm just going to splash some sepia wash into this now. So just essentially, I'm doing all these other bits while. Oh no, I could have been doing the green, couldn't I? I hit it with a hairdryer, didn't I? Oh well, whatever. I'm doing all these other bits while we give the rest of it a bit of time to cure out, essentially, just dry a bit more. And we're just going to add some sepia into the sword and just in the back of the hooves. Slap, slap. This is not just normal sepia wash. This is an old sepia wash, and I've ended up thinning it out with some. I think I just dicked about it. It's either lamy medium in there or there's some contrast medium in there. I can't remember. I needed it for something earlier. I needed it to be thinner, so I just added it straight to the pot because it's the old pot and it didn't have much left in it. And it works quite nicely for what I'm doing now. Oh my god, that axe isn't even slightly dry. Let's just slap some sepia on those wet bits. We only want it for just to create a different colour. Okay. Right. I do quite like the tan color, the tan like color scheme for towel. It is one of the nicer ones. There's a tendency of focusing at the rear back here over the one in the front. Isn't that weird? Now move him out of the way. Weird. Anyway, I need to stop messing about. What are we on now? So skin tones are fine. I think we're gonna swack that up a notch. Let's get some Phonian camo shade. This is where I probably now mess the entire thing up. So we're going to get some camo shade. We're going to slap it all over. We're just going to go over all of the skin. This could be fine. It might not be fine. Let's just take it away. just wiping my brush on some kitchen roll. Kind of need a shade to whack over the top for a minute. I've got a pinky shade that I'm going to put back over. I think we'll do that. Probably should have done that just then, actually, now that I think about it. Well, I've got to remember that finger needs painting. To be honest, we're going to be going back over it all in a bit anyway. So this is why I didn't care that I was highlighting the lighter tones with like chunkier highlights, because I knew I was going to be going back over it anyway, and most of the times these older washes, and to a certain extent the newer ones, will just bring everything back in, and will blend in any of the like chalkiness of. I know we haven't done pallid witch flesh yet, have we? No, I have not. Skipped pallid witch flesh altogether. I am going to have to hit it all with an ultra matte varnish though in a bit, because this amount of shades and contrast and other crap will set it all very satin. So they'll end up with glossy bits where I don't want them to be glossy, and I will go back in with Blood for the Blood God thin down for the bits that I want to be glossy. I will decide where the gloss is, where the shiny bits are. I really am using pretty much every green paint or contrast or shade or whatever that I own, I think. I don't think I've missed one. Just going to hit that seaweed again. And then I'm going to have to hit it with a hairdryer again, because I need to keep working on them, and I can't do that when 90% of it's wet. Ooh, that hoof was looking a bit. Okay. So, just make sure that none of those notifications were work related. No, all good. Okay, apologies again. We're going back to the hairdryer. I will hold it down low. Hold it down low, and hopefully you won't hear too much of it. Hey, we're on 420 subscribers. Only 80 more to go until we get to do a giveaway. What time are we on? Oh God, I've still got an hour and a half. Yes, I'm in my shop. We open for a few hours late on a Friday. As a throwback to years ago when I used to have to do all of my orders on a Friday night. I didn't actually open the shop. I don't know if you can hear me while I've got that on, sorry. I'll just do this quickly. Do that quickly. Plop him back there. I'm down in Plymouth, in the UK. On the south coast, southwest coast. Right on the sea. Not on the sea, not in the sea. I'm only like a 5-minute walk away from the sea though. What do I want? What I really want is I want to sort out. Oh, I feel like that might be a bit dark. Should we go with it anyway? Maybe get some lamium just in case. Pop some lamium there. Ooh. Yes, Fridays is a weird one. The shops are only really open because I used to be in here getting things ready for Saturdays, and then people used to keep trying to come in, so I was just like, fine, I'll open to the public. And people got used to that, and it ended up being incredibly busy. I'm only here for 3 hours, and I used to be very busy because I'm the only place that's open in the evening that does hobby stuff, or that does like Warhammer and paints and brushes and shiz. So yes, Fridays can be quite busy, but it is evil outside. It's like stormy as hell out there at the moment. So I didn't expect to see a single person. But we do have a web store, so I have had web orders come through. But I've already booked them out, so it's fine. I just haven't packed them, but I'll do that early in the morning. Yeah, one crazy lad came in just as I was going live to pick something up. But that's the only person I've seen, which is fine because I've got to get this done. So I don't need customers bothering me right now. I don't need money. What are we talking about? Okay, that might be a bit too dark. So I'm just going to slap some lamium in there now. And then should have thinned that down nicely. Ain't got time for sponges. Let's just use my finger. Be fine. Oh, you would not like to live in Plymouth. There's nothing wrong with Plymouth itself. It's just that Plymouth has its own weather system because we have Dartmoor, so we have the moors. So to go out of Plymouth, you go through Dartmoor, so the moors, and because of that, it means that our weather is weird. So if it's cold, if it's snowing everywhere, it will snow on the moors, but it won't snow at Plymouth. It's kind of like our weird weather protector. But it does mean that it basically just pisses down constantly because we're right on the coast. So if we want to see snow, we have to drive out of Plymouth because we don't get it. So very strange. Okay, so just do the same quickly with that. Very much speeding these. It doesn't matter if that's too dark, to be honest. We're going to go back in and I am going to overbrush with Scathing Blight Dinge again, so that doesn't really matter. Right. That's them on the go. What's next? Need to come back in now. Need to go back in with the ogre and camo. Yes, it's one thing. I don't do football. That's one thing I've never really been interested in. It's home park. I don't do football. I just don't have time for sports. Not when you're sat on your ass painting all day. Right. So this is going to look a bit extreme. Probably not on the camera. I need to go in and make some of these quite a lot brighter because I'm going to have to mix up a bruisey wash. It's going to need to be applied. So I have got to come back in and brighten up these skin tones. Ooh, haven't done any yellow yet, actually, I've just realised. Okay, so not really missing any green bits by the look of it. Sometimes we have a habit when I do Nerdwalk is there will be dark patches still, just bits that I can't see, but I've been pretty good. Haven't really made any. Okay, let's pop him there. Right, so let's have a look. We have got this guy's actually relatively bright already. Now, I'm not going to hit him with what was it I was using? Was it Iron Rack? Yeah, I was using Iron Rack skin. I'm not going to do the Iron Rack skin just yet. I'm going to apply a mixy mix. We need to get some bruisey colours in there. I need to get some purpley reds. I do have a pot that I mixed up a long time ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't paying attention when I did it, and the ratios aren't great. So, bear with. I want to have a quick look. Let's have a look. How good's our screen looking on here now in the evening? Do you know what? That one's actually not too bad. Let's have a mess about it. Yep. Let's throw you down there. Excuse me while I mess about with this. Let's pull you down. It's alright, I'm messing about. I shouldn't be, but I am. Only because I'm going to start knocking things over. Oh. Okay. Let's move you down a bit more. That's better. I can see. I had to move something. Couldn't really see very well. Right. So I need to make a mix, which involves me. Oh my god! As you can tell, I've been painting too much the last few days because everything is currently everywhere. Carabao Crimson, yes. Tricky Violet, yes. Do I have any White and Flash Shade nearby? I do, yes. Amazing. And Lamian, yes. Right. I've got so my actual shop lights where I sit and paint. I made sure I got day panels, so they're day bulbs, nice white day bulbs. But it's kind of a double-edged sword because cameras don't like it too much, even though they're the right sort of thing for painting in. And then I've got two more day bulbs, one on either side above me for when I'm painting and it's a bit dark. But again, when they're on, even though cameras are supposed to like the light, they also have a tendency of not enjoying it. Oh, I just put my paintbrush in my mouth and it had absolutely loads of shade on it. Ugh. That was gross. That was a bit more than I really wanted to eat. Right. So how red is this? That's quite red. That's a bit too red. We need it more purpley. Apologies, I'm off screen making a concoction. All right, how's this? Let's have a look. Ooh, that looks pretty good. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get. I can't mess about too much because I actually snapped my bloody arm on my camera arm, which is why I had to have a one that was further down. Right, so this is a mix, just a few shades. And I'm just going to chuck it kind of everywhere, but not everywhere. Anything that looks like it should be saw. I like to put it generally in folds and recesses. A good 50 or so % of it is Lamian medium. So this is a very thin. The shades go incredibly thin. So normally just in the folds of skin and recesses. It's where the spines are, these bits of bumps, they can be that colour. Armpits, butt folds. Just along those spines. But especially between these heads. Which you did notice in the box art that I think they've done that themselves as well anyway. There's a very pink area in between them. Just push him back a sec. So the lamp from the left is currently messing this up quite a lot. By the looks of it. But if I switch that off, what will happen is things will start to go a bit weird. And if I switch that one on, oh my god, that's ridiculous. I can turn it back a bit though. It does make the whole like area really dark looking, which is quite annoying. If I canvas preview that, that's. I didn't want to do that. Oh no, messed about too much. Yeah. Stop messing about. So we'd already messed about, and I'd already added some pink when I was doing the original colours. When I was putting the Plague Bearer flesh in, I'd already added a bunch of a different pink mix, and I added it in with the while the other colours were wet. Obviously, I've messed about a lot more since then, so a lot of that's been taken away. So what we'll do is add that back in. And then when I do go back and re-highlight the flesh, we'll make it a bit more paler. Definitely missed a colour. I can't think what it is. It's a lot easier to do my Blight Kings because I do them in a bone armour. Everything's pale bone with chips and everything and rusty colours. But when I do demons, because it's generally there needs to be a green involved. I don't remember Ogre and Camo being the brightest colour. There was always another one. I can't remember for the life of me what it is. But right, so that's added that back in. And the nice thing is that shade, when it dries, we'll add those purples in. The only problem being with this at the moment is he's so shiny and pale. And my camera's white balances are being incredibly weird. I'm not actually sure what the hell's happening with it. Yeah, he's looking a bit pasty. Right, how long have we got? Oh god, I need to hit them with a hairdryer again, aren't I? I ain't got time. Time to sit and wait. I mean, they are very close. Incredibly close to being good enough to leave. I'm going to have to go through all of them and add bloody rust and everything. Right. Okay. I'm not 100% sure how. God, it really is struggling, isn't it? My camera's balked, I swear. It does not like to focus at all. So, right, that's focused at the moment. Let's have a quick look. Let's turn this off. Oh, that's better. That looks a bit more natural. It looks a bit more like it actually does in real life. So that pinky sort of bubbly wash that we put on there has done its job. So The funny thing is in essence, it could actually just be now based, and I could just leave him like that. Really need to do anything else to him if I didn't want to. I will, but just saying. I could easily just now leave him. Admittedly, we do have typhus corrosion and everything that needs to be applied to everybody's weapons and bits and pieces. So that's not happening now because I ain't got time. Let's just get that weapon hilt. Just you sod! I knew it should have got you. How was he? How was he on the base then? I'll do. Yeah, typhus corrosion and everything for the weapons needs to be done. I think what I'll do is we'll just use some Militarum green. Probably need some Lamian medium because that's going to be probably a bit too dark. I do kind of need these seaweedy bits to be a tad darker. I don't want them to be stupidly dark though. So I'm just going to add it up a little bit and not go all the way. We need the Lamian then. I'm just going to stab it up just over halfway up. We can always mess with them later. Suddenly decide I've got a better idea. Right. What do we need? What do we need? What I do need is just the brightest yellow I happen to have to hand. Let's just grab this one. Right, so that's going to go everywhere. Doesn't actually matter. You don't need to be particularly neat when it comes to painting these eyeballs on because their actual sockets are going to get filled with red anyway. We'll try to be slightly neat though. I'm just aware that I'm using a brush that's been used for like basically everything under the sun and it's an absolute state. So I'm going to guess that those are supposed to be pustules. If they're not, they are now. Same with these. One. Possibly that there as well. These kind of do. So I'm going to guess they are. And they're on the underside as well. Right. 1, 2. There's a couple on the back. He's got a few on the back of his legs. This reminds me of the Great and Clean. Great and Clean one's got about 7 million pustules on him, I swear, and hunting them all down. Actually, I painted. Oh no, did I do it on him or was it the Glockin? The Glockin, I painted a few as eyeballs. That was fun. We'll be painting Roticus up during the week. Oddly enough, pretty much the same as I'm painting up these guys. Right. Get these painted yellow and then dig out the red. This brush has got hardly any tip left to it, I swear to God. How I've managed to just paint those pustules then, I don't know. Some bone that needs to be worked out there. He's got a few on the back of his hand. Okay. Bit of blood for blood god. Blah 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 blah. Bit of lamium. So. Plan is, if we get it to focus. Plan is to get some blood for blood god, put it over the top, wipe brush, basically wipe off the top of the pustules. If you take too much off, get some more blood for the blood god, and poke it around. Use your finger. Basically just want them to be a bit red, sore, and a little bit glossy. That's the idea. We'll do the same with this little singular one, and since there's a nice crack there in his belly, we can add in some to his belly crack. So we get to add some red in, which is always good. And a little bit of grossness, which is what we want. It's Nurgle, after all. Stab it around, wipe it away, move it about, hook it in there. So we can go a bit overboard now on the weapon, because this is quite deep. And so we're just wiping off that brush. And just wiping it away from the pustules. So they basically look like they're sat in a bunch of bloody grossness. And same for the side of his head, although what we need to make sure we do here is really wipe it out, because we're just essentially going for a really small amount of staining. No, I don't want a line of blood for the blood god. I want a line of blood for the blood god residue, essentially. The eyes won't have this done to them. The eyes we will get red glaze. Actually, no, we'll just use a red contrast. We'll just get Blood Angel's red contrast paint. We'll stick it over the top and we'll wick it away. So there is a couple sores here. Again, we'll just put some in there and then we'll just take it away. And And we're basically doing essentially another sort of thing, the same sort of thing that we did with that red and purple shade. And we're just adding gooey saw red patches, but not going OTT with it. You could go like blood dribbles and everything, but I think less is more when it comes to this. All right, are you gonna actually focus? Are you gonna struggle? Well done. Drop. Just while I remember what I was saying then. Let's get that Blood for the Blood God. Not Blood for the Blood God. Let's get Blood Angels contrast a sec. Let's just do it while I remember, because else I'm going to end up being stupid and slapping Blood for the Blood God in his eyes by accident. So I do need to take this away from the camera a little bit because I need to be able to see. So just going to stick Blood Angels red in his eye socket, clean the brush, and then just wick it away. Annoyingly, he does have 3 eyes. We're just trying to touch the very top of the eyeball, because all that's done then is given us red in the recess, orange on the outer part of the eyeball, and a slightly brighter yellow front. Now it's going to try and focus on my finger. Weirdly. Give it a sec. There you go. So we've got 3 eyeballs. They're not gooey eyeballs, so I haven't used Blood for the Blood God inside them. Obviously on those pustules we do. But I think he's looking pretty good, considering how long we've been painting both of them. How long we've been going for? An hour and 40 minutes, basically. So, not bad. Hour and 40 minutes to pretty much, I mean, he's good enough for tabletop, surely. Let's get the other eyeballs done on this guy quickly, so I can put that paint away, and else I'll get confused which ones I've got out here. I'm going to do something risky now and do all 3 at the same time. One, 2. And I mean, if you're feeling particularly brave, you could always get a yellow again and go back in and dot the eye out. But I don't see the point. I think they look good. I think they look good. Just done like that. You've got yourself some glowing eyeballs. Admittedly, there's a bit too much on the outer bit of his eyelid. So I will go back in with some ogre and camo or whatever it is, and I'll touch that up later. I could be asked. Right, okay. So we're still doing pustules. Just sidetracked myself with the eyeballs. So no one's going to look at the back of this blade, but I'm still going to fill them in. I'm still going to take it away. So my pustules are essentially a uniform, because every single Maggot-Kin model I've done has yellow pustules with Blood for the Blood God applied over the top of them and wiped away. my headcanon for it is that they all have the same disease. They're all sporting the same plague, which is why they all have the same sort of skin tone. That's how I'm going to justify them all looking relatively uniform. Hi, bad.
Cheers.
Your bag, you right?
No, well, thank you.
No worries.
Have a good evening, mate.
You too, mate. It doesn't rain again.
Oh, hopefully not. Been happening all day.
Ha. See you later, dude.
See you later.
Sorry, I was talking old world. Right, so I'm still on the blood. Now, I've realised that I haven't actually done something I normally do, which is I generally also do my thinned down, wiped away blood the blood god trick around all bones, all protrusions. I also do it in mouths, but I haven't highlighted the teeth in these mouths yet. Naughty. I should have done that already. I'm just going to draw that line down that face again, and then just feather that in. You can always go and re-highlight that flesh tone. Okay, we're doing good. We're doing good. I mean, if we're at the point where I'm painting blood around, then I generally means I'm quite comfortable in where I'm at, because this is normally one of the final sort of stages. So just going to paint that around that bone there, because I don't know why he's got a skull attached to him there. I assume this is a tongue, so we'll probably mess with that again at a later date. Right, blood on these little pustules, bit in that neck area, tiny bit down between the pecs. We'll just have a quick wipe off of those, bring that yellow back. And then he's got a little hole here, a little dot there, a little dot there, a little dot there. Clean that off, wipe it away. Just make it a little red and saw. Another saw, another saw. Wipe that down, wipe them off. Let's bung some in that mouth. Come back and hit those teeth. Do you know what? Actually, what I might just do is we'll hit the teeth now. I say, but not. I wasn't supposed to be sticking to any of my usuals sorts of things. We are winging it, so let's just do that. Maybe we'll come back and just hit those teeth with some bone colour in a sec. Pustules on the legs. I have no idea what he's got in his hand. Is there a picture of what he has in his hand anywhere? I think it's a rock. I think it's a rock. Is there any pictures of the Cankerborn that are better than those faraway pictures? Yeah, there isn't. That's annoying. No 360s. I was tempted to make it just into a squidgy red blob. Oh well, is what it is. I'll come back to that later. Right, what was that doing? Right, pustules. Okay, so around the hoofs, but we're not going to actually allow that blood to sit there. We're going to clean the brush and just pull that back. Assume that nail care is not really high on the old Nurgle Demon priority list. I'm just going to add that in there. Let's just put that in the gap in his nail. There's a hole here, and I do like to just add it into any dark creases. I'm going to assume that these little spines are sore as well, so I'll just quickly line them a little bit. I'm not sure what's going on with the kneecaps, so let's just hit that. Clean the brush off, remove it. Another little selection of pustules. He's got a couple on his butt, tail. I'm not sure if it's a butt or a tail. Both. Yeah, both. It's a butt tail. Tail butt. Let's get in those holes. Do it to these. Let's just line them. It does have like a little weird bony dew claw at the back here. Is it a dew claw when it's there? I think it is. Blood in the back of the foot. Back of his hoofs. I like saying hoofs like that. Hoof. On his hoof. Let's Push that up there. Oops. I've got super gluey hands, so my grip's terrible. I have to do something with these spines because I didn't really realise that they were that prominent on everywhere. Okay. Dot them there, dot them there. Let's just give them a block with the hand. The back of that head is looking a bit boring, so just ready that up a little bit as well. Okay, focus, damn you, focus. Let's try pushing a button. Boop. It's too busy focusing on everything else except for the actual mini, isn't it? Annoyance. Okay. Well, you get the gist. Do need to just do that to the bones on the other guy because I completely forgot to do his. Okay, let's just put that on, draw it back down. Don't want like an actual tide-like mark for that blood. I just want it to look like it's erupted and was relatively painful, but also, oh, is a bit gooey. So, base-wise, what's the plan? I think I'm going to say that these are done enough, apart from like the rocky bits on them. I think I'm going to say that they are done enough. Now I do. I'm going to pull him out of his base as well. Let's lay them there a minute, because I think we're at what? I've got 40 minutes. 40 minutes left. So I do need to kind of figure out what I'm doing with the bases. Now, I think I've got... what have I got here? Let's have a look. What's this? We've got some brown earth. Some brown earth. Not a huge amount. Then we do have a bunch of grey earth. What else have we got? Swamp green. No, I don't want to do just swamp. We've got some dark earth here. There's not very much left in it, so that might be a bad idea. Right, I think what I'm going to do. All we really need is to seal up. Just really need to seal up the base so it's not going to leak everywhere. Which we could do with. Let's have a think. Can we do it with some super glue? No, that's a terrible idea. Let's do it with a blob. Let's do it with some of this coarse earth. That's probably not going to be a good idea, but just get this core set up. Let's just slap that over the top of these holes a second. Then we'll hit them with a hairdryer. I'll see what happens. We only need them to dry just enough so that they don't just go like seeping through. Okay. Do I really need that, Tom? Wait a second. 2 seconds. Let's just turn that. I just realised that's upside down now. Completely buggered that, didn't I? Right, let's hit these with a hairdryer. Let's see what happens. If anybody's still managing to carry on listening to me after 2 hours, I'm sorry. I'll be doing the hairdryer again. I just want to seal this up. These guys are quite standalone, so I'm actually quite happy to dick about with their bases real quick. And just get that to dry hard enough that I'll just seep out the bottom. I'm burning my fingers here. It's actually quite painful. Just need that to go a little bit hard enough that it's not going to seep through. I also have another idea on how to do this quickly. Normally, I would not do this, but I am trying to do it as fast as possible. So, where's that super glue I had a second ago? Is this one okay? So there's holes in the bottom. Obviously, they've got some texture paint in them currently. So what I'm thinking is, now that the texture paint's there blocking them, I've got super glue just over the top of that texture paint. And I've got a can of super glue accelerant spray here. So I'll just quickly blast them with. So there we go, white, and there we go, sealed. That worked. Okay, let's do the same with the other one real quick. Some quick super glue plugs. Obviously, if you're going to spray super glue accelerant from a spray can, especially a trade can, one like I've got, make sure you're wearing a mask and that you're well ventilated. Don't do what I just did. The last time I did that loads, I walked out of here high as a kite. Right, so I'm thinking grey earth is actually not a bad shout. That may work. Because what we could do, my brown earth is completely and utterly gone. It's dead. It's a dead pot. So ideally, what we need to do is essentially build up. I kind of need to build up an edge. If I paint this grey stuff on top here a second, just put a thin coat of it over the top. I actually want it to be brown, but I've only got grey, so we're working with what we've got to hand, not anything else. So This was an impromptu 3 hours of trying to get these guys done and doing a test base, or 2 test bases. So let's hit them there and leave them like that a second. Now, hair drying this stuff is not ideal. It does work. Hair drying it does work to a certain extent. But if it's thick, you're needing to wait till tomorrow, or at least, well, yeah. If you put it on real thick, you're looking at literally like a day's dry time. Not a day. Well, depends on the conditions, but it can take fucking ages for it to dry. Right, we're gonna hair dry it. Mute mic or not? I mean, we could just drop the mic volume. See what happens. I'm gonna burn my hands. Where's my? Let's use some paint handles. There we go. Okay. Nowhere near dry, but we should be able to get them dry enough that I can build up another layer without pulling it all up. Right, so the other bad thing about doing it with a hairdryer is it doesn't dry naturally, so it looks worse to do it that way. Don't really care because that was not the plan anyway. We just need that on there so that I can. Well, just done with the brown one. Grey Earth. Let's have the brown one. I've just been using it. So even though I haven't actually moved from my chair, I have somehow just lost one of the paints that I was just using. That's interesting. When people say to me, "How can you possibly lose your paint?" I've just lost something and I haven't even moved from my chair. That is not even slightly funny. What have I done? The fuck? Why did I put it down there? I just whatever. That's honestly, I'm going senile. Right, I'm going to need another brush. So, okie dokes. Now, if I'm going to use this puddles, I do need a raised area. So, what I'm going to do is we're going to keep this raised area here. We're going to add some of this coarse brown that I'm running out of. I'm going to raise that bit there. build that one up there. We're going to build it up here. Give us a puddle. Let's move that there. I'm going to go for just a basic rubbishy looking puddle. What we're looking for is the height. Oh god, I think it's just started absolutely chucking down outside again. God damn it. Right, so that'll give us some more height there. So with the rest of this here, I'm just going to use it to colour this grey. I'll just stipple that while also pushing that up. Now I don't really care about the fact that the inside of the puddle is grey because I'm going to use the AK puddles. I do have swamp texture, swamp effect, which is like a greenish colour, which is what I think my maggotkin might all be based in. But I think we're going to go for puddles. I may convert all of the maggotkin over. So the reason that I'm thinking that is that the Blight Kings, as far as I'm aware, are changing base size. So I'm going to have to rebase my 15 Blight Kings. So if we can just get this to be brown all the way around there. It's going to be for him. We'll just stab around on the inside. I have no idea if this is going to work. In theory, it will. Let's just make that puddle a bit wider there. Just tap that down a bit. Maybe just push that out a bit there as well. Don't want it to just be a... kind of do want it to be a circle. Maybe we'll add a second one. Can we get away with that? Do we have enough excess around this edge? It's risky. It's risky to add it there. So it may just run off the edge. So maybe let's not do that. Maybe on the other one we'll do two small ones. Or just a front-loaded one. Right. So we can always add more to the outside edge if we need to later. I don't think I'm going to. Now I've got some AK puddles. I don't know how that reacts with a hairdryer. So should we all find out? Oh, no worries. Catch you later, buddy. Probably missed that by a good few minutes. Sorry. Right. Let's puddle this. Let's see where it goes. It's not exactly super runny anyway. Bloop, 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 bloop. It's just like dirty water. And much like the others, all of them, they all kind of have kind of shrinkage to them anyway. So as it dries, it will shrink. The main thing is to make sure it's touching all of the edges. Okay, so we've got like a watery puddle in the middle there. A gloop. Let's hit it with a hairdryer and see what happens. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. I would love to show you me hitting with a hairdryer. This is probably a terrible idea. It's probably going to fly everywhere. I'm going to go low to begin with. Oh, it's not a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea at all. No, okay. So we don't hairdryer puddles. Kind of thought that might be the case. So we just leave puddles to shrink naturally. So that's going to be our overnight. So we're not facing them today. That's fine. At least we have a puddly base to have a look at in the morning. So let's take that one off without firing it across the room. That'll be his base. So with this guy, he's going to be stood roughly central. So we kind of want his puddle to be here, not where I'm painting. I'm just going to build this up. Join that to that thicker bit there. Do the same here. So we just want a raised ridge. And just keep that puddle liquid in. And then let's just make sure the rest of it's kind of dry brown. I normally use AK Dark Earth, but I haven't had any in for a little while, and I've run out myself, which is quite annoying. Really like the Dark Earth AK terrain stuff. It dries just like, literally just like a dark mud. It's great. This is very good for swampy bases. I don't think this is supposed to be swampy, but since my maggot kin are all on like swampy bases, this is just how it's going to be. Right, I think that's already raised up enough. There's actually less fapping needed for this one than the last one. We'll just dig a raised area into it though, just to make sure. Do we need more in the front? I feel like there is a bit needed here. Just try and wipe that on the edge. Just push it back that way. Hopefully that does the job. Yeah, that looks better. It's a bit missing there though. Let's turn this. It looks quite low there. Let's just wipe this brush off. Push that just further up. There. Probably the most low-tech basing you're going to see. But it's quick and dirty. And we only had essentially 3 hours. I've got to go in 20 minutes. So that, to me, is actually pretty good. So let's just get this blobbed in here again. Poke it around. Because once it's levels out, I'm going to have to put some more in. this stuff was runnier, I would worry that it would mix with the brown earth and spill out, but it's not runny. It's quite viscous. Is that the right word? I'd love it if that bubble stayed in it. That'd be amazing. Okay, we have another puddly pool. Okay. Let's pull that off. Set it there. We are. Did I clean that brush off? I think I did. I like the fact that that's such a pronounced bump, but I am a bit worried it's going to bust its banks, essentially. Right. We are at the 2 hours and 17 minutes mark. So that was 2 hours to basically paint our 2 Cankerborn. In as quick and rough a ready time, like style as we could. I think they look cool. When I've got them on their bases, I will work on these rocky areas on their backs. These are some highlights and bits and pieces. We've still got to hit them with matte varnish, ultra matte varnish as well, just to get rid of any of the sheens. But I think they look pretty class for just a couple hours. And obviously we've got 2 mud bases that are currently drying. We'll see what they look like tomorrow though. Anyway, if you're still here at all, or if you're watching this afterwards and you somehow managed to watch through 2 hours of me whittling on and messing about, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Say when we hit 500, we gained another for free in 2 hours. When we hit 500, we'll do a giveaway. We'll put a post out. So make sure you subscribe and stuff, and I will catch you on the next one. Later, boy.